The machine fractures. A cascade of alarms, a flare of light, and then nothing but the black hush of alien humidity pressing against the visor of your suit. The transfer ends not where it should, but here, inside the lungs of a world that should not know you, yet smothers you all the same. The sound reaches you before the shapes do. Chorus, low, booming, monotonous. Frogs, but not the kind you remember from the margins of quiet ponds. These are giants, their bodies swelled and shining, their throats inflating like lanterns in the dark. Each note rolls through the Carboniferous swamp like a drumbeat in waterlogged air. The sound is not music. It is warning, structure, scaffolding. It builds the night like bones build a body. Your visor fogs at the edges. You wipe it with a clumsy glove. Above you, trunks rise without branches, only ridges spiraling upward before splitting into fern-like crowns that knit a ceiling against the stars. The canopy refuses light. Even here, even now, there is no day, only gradients of shadow. The ground steams, black mud clutching at your boots as though it has waited for centuries just to drag you in. You listen. The frogs do not pause. Their chant is endless, patterned, mechanical in its consistency. They are not predators. They are not prey. They are signals, living metronomes pounding out survival into the air. You feel their vibration in your ribs. You start to believe that as long as they continue, you remain inside the perimeter of life. You walk. Each step disturbs insects the size of your hands, wings trembling against the swamp's heavy air. Somewhere behind you, a tree crashes, not from age but from weight. Something moves. You freeze, but the chorus continues, unwavering. Relief trickles through your body, as if your heart is borrowing rhythm from those amphibian bells. And then silence. Not gradual, not frayed. A cut. One instant the swamp quakes with resonance. The next it is hollowed out, stripped to silence so pure it feels like pressure inside your helmet. Your breath rasps loud, invasive. Your pulse is too visible. Even the insects vanish into stillness. You stand there, spine rigid, a figure half buried in mud and condensation, and the only thought that fits into your head is, do not move. But instinct is louder than discipline. You turn your head just slightly, visor reflecting pale threads of bioluminescence dripping from fungal towers. In the edge of your vision, you think you see a ripple of mass, something bending the air itself as it shifts between the boles of the ancient trees. The frogs remain silent. The swamp holds its breath. You understand. Their voices are not for you. They were never meant to comfort. They are alarms. They are bells in the night, and their absence is the toll. Your mouth dries, though no air reaches it directly. You tell yourself you must remember rules, rules that will be spoken, rules that will bind you. Because here, in the Carboniferous dark, survival is only as strong as silence. The silence does not break. It stretches, tightens, digs its claws into you. Your suit amplifies every twitch of your body. The creak of your joints, the hiss of air circulation, the rasp of your shallow breath. It feels obscene, too loud, like tearing paper inside a cathedral. You glance upward. The canopy is a web of colossal fronds, woven so tightly that light cannot fall in clean shafts. Instead, the world glows dimly, a green-black haze filtering through layers of spores and mist. Lianas hang like veins, coated with droplets that never fall. Everything drips, everything seeps. The air is liquid. You move as though submerged in the lungs of a drowned planet. Each step is a negotiation with the ground. The soil is not soil but peat, half-root, half-rot, a sponge that flexes under your boots. Gas pockets break with dull sighs, exhaling the odor of minerals long forgotten by your kind. When you try to steady yourself, bark crumbles under your gloved grip, fibrous, soft, as though the trees are still undecided about whether they are wood or something less permanent. You begin to notice rhythms that are not frogs, clicking subtle, sharp, like the beating of mandibles. In the dimness, dragonflies dart past, larger than your arm, wings striking the air with metallic precision. Their eyes glint like shards of mirrors. They do not fear you, but they do not linger. Everything here knows the rules except you. The frogs remain silent. You imagine their bulging bodies squatting in the mire, throats deflated, eyes unblinking, waiting. They have seen this before. The hush is not random. It is an equation, solved over and over through uncountable nights. Something moves when the chorus stops, something older than their warnings, something that navigates by silence. You catch yourself shivering. Not from cold, your suit regulates that, but from pressure. The atmosphere is thick, swollen with oxygen, more than your body has ever known. Each breath comes too easily, too rich, and your blood thrums with it, too fast, too eager. You can feel it. This air is built for giants, not for you. The insects, the amphibians, the unseen hunter, they are inflated by abundance, made monstrous by generosity. You are the intruder, fragile among titans. Ahead, a pool spreads wide, reflecting only shadows. Its surface trembles without wind. You lower your visor closer, scanning. Beneath the skin of water, shapes coil, millipedes longer than your legs, rippling like conveyor belts of muscle. They twist and vanish under rotting leaves. The pool exhales a slow mist, carrying a smell so dense it pierces even the filters of your helmet. It is not rot, not exactly. It is growth without pause, matter folding on itself until it suffocates. You step back. Your boot sinks deeper than expected, and suction holds it for a moment too long. Panic seizes you. You wrench your leg free with a wet tear, mud slapping your suit, and freeze again, waiting. The swamp answers with nothing. No chorus, no echo. Only the soft patter of condensation dripping from fern crowns high above, like distant footfalls descending. It occurs to you that this world does not notice you. It has no need to. Your survival is incidental, tolerated only until chance exposes you. The frogs' bells were not meant for strangers in suits, yet you are bound to them now. They are the only structure in this shapeless dark. And when they fall silent, there is no map, no order. Only the waiting of something vast and patient. You tighten your grip on yourself, force your mind into discipline. If you are to remain alive here, you will need rules. Not borrowed from memory, but carved from this place itself. Rules as harsh as the air, as sharp as silence. You whisper to yourself inside the helmet, words that fog the glass and vanish before you can see them. Rules. They must exist. The swamp is a machine, and machines can be read. If you fail to learn the code, you will be swallowed. You begin to carve the laws of survival in your mind, each one etched with the weight of fear. Rule 1: trust the chorus. The frogs are not background, they are beacons. Their calls are not random noise, but the rhythm of life allowed to exist. As long as their throats pulse, the world around you is tolerable, even safe. The silence is not empty. It is a signal that something else is moving. If you doubt this, if you treat silence as comfort, you will take a step too many into the waiting dark, and you will not have time to recognize your mistake. Rule 2: do not break the stillness. When the frogs fall silent, your only defense is immobility. Movement is an announcement, and in this place, announcements are invitations. Even your breath feels like betrayal. The thing that stalks the silence does not see you the way you see it. It reads disruption, vibration, the shift of matter against matter. If you twitch, if you stumble, you become a ripple across calm water, and ripples attract attention. Attention here is not survival. Rule 3: never touch the pools. The water is not water. It is a cradle for forms that have not yet decided their boundaries. Worms with armored plates, millipedes with claws like hooks, larvae swollen to obscene proportions. They will not chase you, but they will grasp, coil, pierce. To them, intrusion is no different from prey. If you dip a hand or even let your boot linger too long, they will treat it as surrender. The suction you felt earlier was only a hint. The pools do not release what they claim. Rule 4: keep the helmet sealed. The air may tempt you, thick, oxygen-rich, intoxicating. It would taste like life multiplied, like energy poured straight into your blood. But abundance here is poison to your kind. Your lungs would burn, your cells would riot, your body would overheat in its own frenzy. The creatures outside thrive because they were shaped by this storm of breath. You were not. The helmet is not a cage. It is the only filter between you and suffocation by excess. Rule 5. Remember that you are prey. This is the hardest truth. You are smaller, slower, softer. Your armor is thin compared to the exoskeletons and hides of what crawls and swims here. If you imagine yourself superior, you will test boundaries, take risks, search for dominance. That arrogance is fatal. Prey survives not by defiance but by awareness, by silence, by the acceptance that the best victory is to remain unnoticed. You repeat these rules again and again until they blur into a rhythm of their own. They must replace your heartbeat, your breath, your impulse to act. But even as you cling to them, you know they are fragile. A slip of mud, a gasp too loud, a single vibration misplaced, and every law unravels. The frogs remain silent still. Their absence gnaws at the edges of your nerves. You wait, rigid, until your muscles cramp, until your knees tremble. Time does not pass. It pools like the stagnant water at your feet. You realize then the most dangerous rule of all, unspoken but felt. Do not wait forever, because something else in this swamp is patient enough to outlast even your stillness. Your body betrays you first. Knees locked, spine stiff, you have been frozen for too long. Blood, heavy with oxygen, burns in your legs. The muscles begin to twitch, small spasms you cannot command away. The silence makes them unbearable. Each tremor feels like a shout against the swamp. Inside your helmet, sweat pools along your brow. You try not to wipe it. The gesture would be motion. Instead, it crawls down into your eyes, stinging, blurring. You blink, and even that movement feels like sin. You whisper the rules to yourself again. Throat dry. Trust the chorus. Do not break the stillness. Do not touch the pools. Keep sealed. You are prey. Each line steadies you for a heartbeat, then falters, because the chorus has not returned. The frogs remain mute, throats still as stone. Their silence stretches too long. Maybe this is the new order. Maybe they will never speak again. Your calves cramp sharply. The pain twists you, makes your balance falter. Instinct forces your boot to slide half a step forward, splashing into peat. The sound is tiny, but in this vacuum it detonates. Ripples spread across the mud, dark rings widening. The swamp listens. Between two tree trunks, you glimpse a fold of air that bends wrong. Not light, not shadow, something denser, dragging humidity with it, as if its body is stitched from the atmosphere itself. You hold your breath, lungs screaming. The form shifts, too fluid to outline, too massive to ignore. It is not crawling. It is not walking. It is passing through, and everything around it bows. Your chest seizes. You cannot outlast your own biology. At last you exhale, and the sound of your breath hisses inside the helmet. The thing halts. You feel it noticing. You retreat one slow step, but the peat sucks at your boot, tearing free with a noise like tearing cloth. That sound is louder still. The fold in the air thickens. The hunter has heard. Rule 2 shatters. You are moving. The frogs remain silent. Panic takes command. You lunge away, crashing through ferns that snap like brittle bones. The swamp roars awake beneath your panic. Dragonflies scatter, wings flashing like blades. Centipedes coil underfoot. Gas vents split with muffled explosions. Each step amplifies you, each stride a flare in the darkness. Behind, the distortion follows, soundless but inexorable. Trees groan as their roots shiver. Mud erupts in small fountains where the weight of something vast compresses the ground. You do not dare look back. Looking will cost speed. You stumble toward a slope, a rare rise of ground woven with roots. It offers height, perspective, maybe safety. You climb, grabbing at bark that sloughs away in damp sheets. Your suit is smeared with filth, visor streaked, lungs hammering. At the crest, you stop. Below, the swamp quivers as though breathing. For a moment, you see nothing. Only silence, only dripping condensation. Maybe you lost it. Maybe stillness fooled it. Then the trees lean, one after another, not broken but pressed aside. A line of distortion moves beneath their crowns, straight toward you. You try to remember Rule 5, you are prey. But prey runs until it cannot, and you are nearly at that edge. Your heartbeat fills the helmet louder than any frog's bell. Your body wants to scream. Your voice wants to shatter the silence, if only to prove you still exist. You clench your teeth, jaw aching. The hunter does not need your scream to find you. It is already here. The frogs have not returned. They will never return. You realize too late that silence is not a pause. It is the final state. You run until running becomes falling. The slope betrays you, slick with moss and rot, and you crash to the base of a colossal trunk. Your suit saves you from laceration, but the impact hammers your ribs, knocks breath from you in a gasp too loud to reclaim. The swamp inhales. The distortion halts. Then it resumes closer. Not sound, not form, only consequence. Ferns bend where nothing touches them. Pools dimple, rippling outward as if heavy stones were dropped in silence. Each movement of the hunter is written into the world, but the hunter itself remains hidden, a blind spot given shape by reaction. You press yourself against the trunk, as if merging with it might erase you. Bark fibers collapse under your gloves, brittle and sodden. You become aware of every pulse in your body, every hiss of air inside the helmet. You are too loud, too alive. Your mind scrambles through the rules. Trust the chorus. Do not move. Do not touch the pools. Stay sealed. You are prey. But the chorus has ended. Stillness has already broken. The swamp has rewritten the laws, and you no longer hold the key. The frogs will not save you. The hunter drifts past the pool ahead. You glimpse it for the first time, not directly but as a tearing of space. Mist swirls into its outline, condensing against something immense and uneven. Its mass blots stars you cannot see. Your brain resists, fails to assign shape. You know only that it feeds here, and silence is its weapon. You want to flee again, but your body has emptied itself of strength. Legs quiver, muscles torn with fatigue. Even if you could run, the ground would betray you with every splash, every suction. The swamp is not on your side. A dragonfly lands on your visor, its wings trembling with faint vibrations. Its compound eyes glitter like shards of broken mirrors. For an instant you envy its simplicity. It does not invent rules, it only reacts. Then it launches away, wings shrieking. The distortion follows, angling toward the noise. You seize this chance. You slide sideways along the trunk, body scraping mud, and drop into a hollow beneath roots. The cavity smells of wet mineral and ancient decay. Cradles you like a grave dug before its time. You crouch, trembling, praying the space is deep enough to mask you. The hunter pauses. You feel pressure above, like a storm waiting to break. Condensation patters from the roots, striking your helmet in steady beats, each one deafening. You bite your tongue to keep from gasping. Blood floods your mouth, copper taste sharp against recycled air. Silence holds. Then movement. Slow, deliberate. The hunter lowers itself toward the hollow. Ferns shiver. Soil buckles. The cavity tightens with weight not its own. You curl smaller, as though shrinking might erase your signature. Your visor fogs completely now. You see nothing. You hear nothing. Only feel the swamp compressing, waiting for you to break the silence again. Your lungs beg for release. Oxygen is thick, but your body rebels, too saturated. You need to cough, to purge, to scream. You clamp your jaw until it aches, but pressure mounts. Your throat convulses. The rules fracture one final time. A strangled gasp escapes you, sharp and raw. The world responds. The hollow implodes with force you cannot name. Roots tear free above you, mud collapses, and air thickens until it feels solid. You are swallowed in silence so absolute it erases even thought. For a breathless instant you no longer exist. Not prey, not intruder, not witness. Only absence. The frogs do not return. Their bells have tolled, and you were the echo.